Okay, well, welcome to my tutorial on sort of simply getting going with 3D printing. This is not an advanced thing, it's just to say if you wanted to get started 3D printing, it's simpler than you might think, and I can just show how to do it using simple software and a cheap and cheerful 3D printer. So, we'll start off with online software called Tinkercad. Oops, didn't need to do that. Let's just go back. There we go. Right, so online software called Tinkercad, and you just go online and you sign up and you'll end up, you click on new project and you'll end up here. And all I'm going to do is show dead simple, nothing complicated. So you can drag a box out into there. And there it is, there's your box. And it starts off, it's 20 length, 20 width, 20 height. That's absolutely fine. Now I want to make something like a little house, and if you look over here on the basic shapes, if we scroll down, there's a nice roof, and we'll drag that out as well. Now the one thing about when you're doing 3D stuff is obviously you've got to get your brains around that you're doing 3D, and if you try and drag the roof into there, as you can see, it just disappears. Now the various methods are going, but I'm just going to line that up roughly, and I'm going to grab this hat at the top and drag it up so it sits on the roof, and then I'm just going to swivel around so you can see there it is. So very simple. Got a little cube, added a roof to it. I'm not going to do anything else, just keep it as a simple house shape. There you go. Now what you want to do, having got this, is export it into a format that a 3D printer understands, because 3D printer doesn't understand a Tinkercad file. So you just sort of simply go around it. So you select everything. You can group it together if you want, so it all becomes one object. Sorry, it's over here. Group. I'll just do that. As you can see, it now becomes one object. And then over here we've got an export button. So I just export it. And the format that every 3D printer in the world understands is called STL. I've forgotten what it stands for, but that's the one you want. And there you are. It'll be exported out. On my computer, it ends up in a downloads folder. As you can see down here, this is just Tinkercad inventing names up there. I can change that to say whatever I want, but we'll call this Super Rotters Mojo at the moment. And that's how you do it. I've designed a little house in Tinkercad, and I've exported the STL. And now we'll move on to, how to get that onto a 3D printer. Bye for now. Okay, I'm just narrating over a previous video, so it might not match up with the pictures. So this is the matter control program. It's called a slicer. It takes that STL file we generated in Tinkercad and sends it off to the actual printer. So we're going to watch it in action here. The window on the left shows, what the program thinks it's doing, building up the layers on the printer, and the window on the right there is an actual camera that's following the print going. So hopefully we'll see what's happening. I'm going to speed up the video now and take it through to the end. So here is my 3D printer in all its glory. Very industrial, untidy and unkempt. Never bothered tidying up the wires properly. All the way down the side there. I'm not a tidy person. So this is a cheap and cheerful printer. Currently costs, I think, £92. I'm going to check out on eBay. It cost me £140 when I bought it several years ago. It's based on what they call the Prusser design, which is basically this bit where you've got two stepper motors and a screwed rod that moves this bar up and down. There's a stepper motor on the left and a belt, and that moves the print head all the way across. Filament comes in there, goes up, goes down, goes into what's called the extruder, And the very bit at the bottom there, that grey grungy thing, that's the heater block, and that melts the plastic, and this stepper motor then just pushes it out onto the print bed. Now this print bed was heated, but the wires dropped off about a year ago. And if you're printing with PLA, which is the most common substance you've got, plastic, you don't need a printed heat bed. You just put this, where is it? You just put this masking tape that you get in B&Q, blue printing. I don't know why you have to use the blue one, but you know, and not the white one, but the blue one's what everybody uses. I don't know if it's just aesthetics, but there you go. And you can put strips down like that. And I just replace them every now and again. I think this has been down for about 2 weeks. You can get expensive, nice square ones that look pretty, but you know, it's just not worth it. That's a little funny arrangement I use that tries and scrapes off excess plastic before it goes out and prints. I'm not saying it works very well, but what the heck, that's what I do. You see lots of printers and they have little clips to hold the glass print bed down. I just used hot glue because I found the clips were getting in the way sometimes. So there you are. I did screw it down tightly to a nice thick piece of MDF. And there you are. Of course, the Y-axis, goes backwards and forwards. You know, that's the other stepper motor. Like I say, this is very cheap and cheerful, but for less than £100, you know, why not? Now you get other 3D printers. You know, you hear of, you know, other people, you pay about £300, you know, before you buy one that you can get off Amazon Prime and, you know, has reasonable reviews. But they're exactly the same principle design as these, you know. So, you know, if you just want to try it out. Now, one thing that has to be said is I sometimes hear about catching fire. I can't, let me take my lead off here. There's a controller board there, and it's for the heated print bed mainly. You put out a lot of amps to heat the print bed up, and you know, I've heard occasional reports of, you know, people's printer catching fire. Mine's never caught fire, obviously not for the last year because the heated print bed isn't. Plus the fact, you know, but because of that reason, never leave the printer unattended. That would be the thing. I'd hate somebody to buy one of these, set it away printing, go out shopping, come back to house burnt down. Like I say, it's not happened to me. I don't think it's a very common occurrence, but I would hate someone not to be aware of that caveat. If you're sitting in front of it, obviously ready with your halon extinguisher, that's not going to be a problem. Now, the thing about 3D printers is, you know, they don't necessarily produce a completely accurate final product, but I've produced lots of things that are perfectly acceptable. Recently, I've been printing Thunderbirds models for my nephew, and I did a little one there. There's little bits. That worked out fine. You hear a lot of people doing 3D printing and printing PPE equipment for the National Health Service. I tried to print one just to see if it did it, and there you are. I think it prints. So, you know, you can do stuff like that. Well, here's my box of failed stuff, or stuff I've now finished with and thrown away. So you end up throwing away a lot of the stuff. But, you know, ideal lockdown displacement activity. Okay, bye for now.